At first glance, this beautiful and historic Ozark Mill seems pretty typical, with its scenic location and mill dam waterfall. But this mill is rooted in a particularly interesting geologic and human story. What made this such a good site for a mill, and how did the builders take advantage? The surprising answer might even be considered explosive. So today we'll look at the distinct geologic setting of Missouri's Dillard Mill State Historic Site, here on Ozark Outsider. Dillard Mill was built in 1908 on the upper reaches of Huzzah Creek, serving local farmers growing grain in the Broad Valley bottoms. This structure replaced an earlier mill dating back to 1850, reusing some hand-hewn timbers that you can still see today. Most of the mill's original machinery remains and is operated for visitors on days warmer than our December visit. We were blown away when we first figured out the story here, but to understand what makes this mill site so interesting, you're going to need some context. Mills needed a steady flow of water to drive their wheels or turbines. Dillard Mill used a turbine linked to gears and pulleys to power its machinery. Dams were a common way to control both the flow and vertical drop of water through mill machinery. At first glance, the Dillard Mill site isn't ideal. It sits on the main channel of Huzzah Creek, whose valley is broad enough to make a full-size dam an expensive proposition in the early 1900s. So why is it here? The answer is in the site's geology. Dillard Mill sits along a tight meander bend once carved within the broader valley of Huzzah Creek. You can clearly see how a narrow bedrock neck separated the two limbs of the meander. This isn't an uncommon structure in the Ozarks. For example, here's a similar pattern along the Merrimack River. But modern Huzzah Creek doesn't follow this path anymore. At some point it breached the neck, cutting off the broader meander. This too has occurred elsewhere in the Ozarks, as in this example from Cedar Creek. Notice how, once the main channel shifted, the tributary coming in from the left took over part of that old channel? The same thing happened at Dillard Mill. Indian Creek, which once entered Huzzah Creek west of the mill site, now follows the old main channel and enters Huzzah Creek further downstream to the northeast. So Huzzah Creek, which once flowed through this now abandoned channel behind the mill, now drops to the bedrock neck, cutting off the entire meander bend. That's pretty cool on its own. But what really makes this site interesting is that the breach isn't natural. The mill's builders recognized the potential here and blasted away the neck to redirect Huzzah Creek, then building a small dam to control the water level. You know, as a kid who loved damming up and messing with streams, I'm envious of these guys. They must have had a blast. This one change created an excellent mill site, redirecting the creek from its broad, gentle meander into a constricted channel over the bedrock neck created a far more practical dam site, concentrating the creek's flow and raising its head, providing sufficient reliable power for milling. The higher ground beyond the blasted neck also provided a less flood-prone location for a mill building, especially with the ability to anchor the foundations to solid rock. You could say that this was a real breakthrough in mill development. Visiting today, you can explore the ways people took advantage of geology to alter this landscape. Walking toward the mill from the site's parking lot, you cross a seemingly insignificant dry creek bed. But this is the original Huzzah Creek channel, now carrying the much smaller Indian Creek tributary. You can actually bushwhack upstream around the bend, still on park land, to find old bluffs along the former main channel. This is such a cool place, and we had a lot of fun figuring out this story and sharing it. And we haven't even told you about the granitic millstones, the neat quartz crystals, or the abandoned narrow gauge railroad. The builders of Dillard Mill may have changed the channel, but you shouldn't. Check out our other videos for more cool Ozark stories.